Hey guys, what's up? It's About Mods here. I'm going to give you another mod video about LSPDFR, how to use it, what you really need to do stuff with LSPDFR. If you don't know what LSPDFR is, it's basically turning your GTA 5 single player into cops, where you can do cops and stuff. Yeah. Few little warnings. 1, you cannot go online with this. It's just not possible. You will get kicked and it just won't work. 2, back up your game. And what I mean by backing up your game, I mean coming here into Steam, properties, browsing local files. You're going to want to take your normal game, copy it, and this is what it should look like for you. Copy all of it, make a copy called like GTA copy or whatever, and just do it that way. Trust me, it'll save your butt in the future, and you don't want that. And I don't know what this is, so I'm gonna just close it. But to begin, first of all, you're gonna want to come to properties, browse local files. Now, if you don't know where your GTA 5 directory is, you may need to look it up. It's gonna look really different for everyone. For me, it'll definitely not look like this for everyone else. But if you use the Rockstar launcher itself, it's going to be totally different. I don't know where it is. You got to look it up. Same with Epic Games. Alright, now that you got this open, I recommend just bringing it over here and like just minimizing it. You can close out that and minimize that. But you're going to want to come over here to LSPDFR.com, and you're going to want to download LSPDFR. Just right here. It'll also be linked in the description. Now, what this is telling you is basically back up your game. Plus, some antivirus softwares will mark LSPDFR as a virus. It's known as a false positive. False positive is basically just your computer thinking it's a virus when it's not. So what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to come to download file. And you're going to want to read all of this. Mostly, just do it. It'll save your butt. I've already read it before, so I'm just going to hit download. It's going to bring you to this. What you're going to want to do is hit manual download, and I'll be right back when it's done. Alright, what you're also going to want to do is come to Simple Trainer. I will also leave this down in the description. You're just going to want to hit download and download that. Then another link is ScriptHook V. You need this. Just going to want to hit download. Once again, link in the description. 4th thing, OpenIV. You don't need this yet, but it will be needed for the future. If you want to add custom cars or custom maps, whatever, you need this. Another thing you're going to need is scripthookv.net. Now, I'll go ahead and explain to you. OpenIV is basically, it gets more in depth to your game files. When you do download it, it's going to ask you to look for your game directory. So if you know where it is, then just copy and paste. If you don't, once again, properties, local files, browse local files, and it's this directory that it's asking for. Alright. And then for this, it's honestly just drag and drop. You'll understand what drag and drop is after this. So just going to want to minimize all of this. And now that that's all done, you're going to want to actually come to your directory. I would do this and then put your downloads over here. You're going to want to come over and open the LSPDFR. If you do not have WinRAR, I recommend downloading it. It's going to be one of the other links. Download it. It's really simple, and it basically just allows you to unzip all of your stuff. After 30 days, it will ask you to purchase a license. Trust me, you don't need to, unless you're a huge corporation. You don't need to. You just go ahead and exit that out, and then you're just going to want to literally copy this, drag and drop. And do not copy this and drag it where it's touching any of these files here. You can go ahead and do it with these files down here, but do not come here. So it may ask you to replace any files. If you do already have files in there, just hit replace. It's all fine. The next thing you're going to want is script-hook V. You're going to want to come into bin. Everyone says to drag and drop all of it, but personally, hit control and then unclick that one because it's a terrible menu and it just gets in the way. So once again, drag, drop. If it asks you to replace, replace. Next is the trainer. The trainer is really useful. Once again, take these files only, drag and drop, and replace if it asks you to replace. Now literally, that's about it. That's all it takes. Now, let's explain a few things. ELS. This is a separate mod that comes in if you decide to... Well, I just realized my file is corrupted. So we're gonna go back. ELS, it's not super important. Yeah. It's basically just a mod. I wouldn't touch any of this stuff. Menu. This is a mod menu. I'll leave a link to that in the description. Mods. You need OpenIV to really do anything with the mods. Yeah. Plugins. This is where everything that you add. This is what I have, but other people have way more. You probably won't have much. Yeah. So let's just go ahead and get right into Rage Plugin Hook. You won't see this. This is a shortcut I made for my desktop. But you'll see this, and basically this is how you launch LSPDFR with the game. Once that opens, please read this. They could be asking for your firstborn. Seriously, just read it. Then hit accept. During this, it's basically just making sure it's all good and stuff. And I believe it should pop up in a hot second. There we go. It may ask you to back up your game files. Just go ahead and hit back up. It's all good. Now, don't really touch all of this. Come here into plugins. Don't load any plugins on startup, because sometimes you will have certain plugins that it'll crash your game as soon as you try to launch it, among other things. Just make sure you don't have that. And once you're really ready, make sure that this is correct, that this is green. That's basically just saying it'll launch perfectly fine. Then just hit save and launch. This just, yeah, when you go ahead and open this, when you double click it, you can always hit shift or hold shift and it'll come up back to the other screen. Just go ahead and hit OK and wait for it to launch. I'll be back to you when it's on its way, and I'll explain more. Alright, now this is going to look a lot different from when you normally start up your game. You're going to see the little Rage logo down in the corner. Yeah, don't really worry about that. That's just how Rage Plugin Hook works. Yeah. So, un momento. Let me come back. Alright, that took a lot quicker than I thought. So this will basically pop up when you're trying to load your game. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's just the normal process. I'll be back when we're in single player because it will not let you go online. But I'll be back when we're in single player. Alright, so one thing I do tell you, if your game takes more than 10 minutes to load in, I do recommend just restarting your game, or no, closing your game, then restarting your computer, and then trying again. That's just how it works. Sometimes it's really weird, but yeah. So once you're in the game, you're gonna realize it's pretty fine, looks normal and everything. But as soon as you hit F4, a console. So this is basically where you have a ton of different things that all relate to LSPDFR. So if you go ahead and hit once again game corrupt or file corrupt, don't worry. Type in load all plugins, and basically LSPDFR will load. It may seem like your game crashed or it froze. Trust me, it didn't. So you're not going to see this character that I have. This is just my guy that is set up. You're not going to see him. You're probably still going to be Michael, Franklin, or Trevor. But you're going to want to hit the console again and just type in Forest Duty. and then just hit enter again, it'll basically put you on duty. Just basic commands for you. And you won't see this. I installed the plugin wrong, and yeah, you won't see that. God damn it. Come on, close. Just close. Oh my lord. Okay, now that that's closed. For you, you're most likely gonna have a normal cop car that's here. Now, there are all of these police stations on the map. If you're in the city, I do recommend coming over to this one right here. I'll be right back to you when I'm there. Okay, so with the power of mods, I came over here really freaking quickly. But, yeah. So, you're gonna want to go ahead and just walk in here casually. If you do get a wanted level when you do come in here, hit F4 and reload all plugins. One thing before you get started, when you hit F4, not only does this come up, but when you hit F4 again, you have this menu. This is the trainer that you installed. I personally recommend just going through and looking at it all. Two things I do recommend you do get that you do put on: reveal full map. That's just, it reveals the full map. But you can come here, just hit E to open the police locker, and you can come here. Personally, I like to come in here, and I personally like FBI. It's just one thing I like. So yeah. So after you got that, it may tell you to go on duty before you get to this menu, but yeah. So you can go to police garage, and I'll be right back with you when it loads. Alright, the police garage, well, basically, I believe you'll spawn with a normal car. Yeah. For me, I have these two that are, these two vehicles that are added on. Yeah. So, let's just go with this. You can come here, you can put the liveries on, and modifications and stuff. I'm just gonna apply all and then just select continue, and we're gonna get into game. And well, FBI, we're on duty now. I believe for you, when you do hit E, it basically it'll sound the horn. For me, when I hit J a few times, I can turn on the lights. It's different from yours, but that's because of ELS. Now, let's take a random victim here, and let's decide we want to pull him over. You're going to want to hit shift and tell the subject to pull over, and eventually he will. If not, and they're fleeing, I believe you can start a chase by holding B. Not 100% sure. But you can go ahead and approach the vehicle. Now you can hit E to begin talking to them. Now, I personally don't use this. I hit K, which this is stop the ped. Stop the ped is really useful, and I can ask them for all documents right here. They'll give me their documents. Oh, they refuse to show proof of insurance. Alright. So when you come back to your cop car, and you have the plug-in compute line.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
I absolutely hate my game. It keeps... Ugh. Okay, well, let me just recap. When I pulled up the compute light menu, the car had 0 registration. It basically had nothing, so I went ahead and arrested her. Yeah. Stop the ped, you can go ahead and I can assign transport to someone, ask them to transport the car. Depending on what you have will depend on how good your game is. If you decide to go ahead and max load your game, then good for you. But one warning. Anytime you install another plugin or another car, go ahead and stop before you install more than 5. I recommend stopping at about 5. Go ahead and try to load up your game. If your game crashes, then go back, find what you did wrong, and delete it. Because trust me, it's worth it than losing your whole game. I can't tell you how many times I've had to personally restart all over and completely wipe my game. I've done it so many times now, but eventually you'll get the hang of it. So I hit him. Well, that's about it. I hope you had a great day. Have a great night. And I'll see you guys later. Deuces.